Hello everybody, a very good morning to you and welcome back to another live stream here at Taurex and at Moss. Hope everyone has had a good weekend. Very interesting few days we had on Thursday and Friday, which we're going to speak about in a bit of detail today, because I think this week's pretty much all about that. So I'm excited about that. I still have a live trade open that we placed last week on the stream. I know some people are looking for updates on that as well, so I'll make sure that I cover that in a bit of detail as well, looking at the platform and also really looking ahead to where I think the best trading opportunities are going to be for this week. I do apologise, last week we cancelled the stream on Wednesday, I think it was, but thankfully I had it approved that we were able to roll over the prizes from last week's stream into this one, which actually makes this week the biggest giveaway we've ever had on the live streams, which is amazing. So just to, I know people have come from X and stuff like that, so just to refresh people's memories, we are giving away 6 winners today and 6 winners tomorrow. So 3 lots of 10k Atmos challenge accounts and 3 lots of 50% deposit bonuses into Taurex can be won on today's stream. All you have to do is comment win on the YouTube chat once. I say it every week, it's like a broken record, but people comment win multiple times. It really doesn't make a difference to your chances of winning the prize. The only thing that will ever make a difference to you winning the prize is if you are a subscriber to the YouTube channel. The random draw will give you double the chance to win. Okay, so make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to get access to a better chance of winning. The reason I'm going to be streaming today and tomorrow, normally I do Monday and Wednesday, but I'm traveling to Bangkok on Wednesday for one of our Atmos events. So I'm sure for those who follow me on social media, you're going to see lots of content on that. So that should be good. And then next week we'll be back to sort of the normal routine, probably Monday, Wednesday, or Monday, Thursday, or something like that. So that's the reason why there's a slight change in the schedule. And other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. So good to see lots of people on the chats. Let me just give me a couple of seconds just to go through. Who have we got? We've got Smarty on the stream. Hello to you. Fatai, Arlo Quest, hello to you as well. Arlo Quest has commented win quite a few times. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see Easton on the stream. We've got Percy's, all the people that have been on before. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for the comments. Crick Mila, one of our winners last week, I think it was, or the week before. Hopefully you're getting on well with your account. Any issues, feel free to reach out to me or any of the moderators in the Discord channel, and we'll be more than happy to help. Smarty says that it's all about after the Powell testimony. Yeah, it really is. It's pretty much going to be a complete fallout of last week, of Powell's comments last week. So I'm actually thinking this is going to be a decent week to trade. I think there's going to be enough volatility in the markets for us to get some good opportunities. VR Gopi, hello to you. Sarav Takor. We got Iman, Nina, Moch, Roby, Hafiz, IQ Baber, hello to you as well. Good to see you. Day on, MDZ. We've got loads of people on here. I'm going to try and get through everyone if I can. Diego Evi, hello to you as well. Mr. Sabash. Let's go join. Yes, indeed. Wonder 19, hello to you as well. Didn't expect Powell will be against Trump. I actually thought he was more with Trump than against him. He was more with Trump than I thought he was going to be. As I said, we'll go through some of the key takeaways from Friday. But yeah, pretty much he is against Trump, but it actually shifted a little bit on Friday's thing. Any Blue Zone trader, hello to you. Any gold predictions? Yeah, we'll take a look at gold. Obviously, gold had a fantastic day on Friday after the Powell comments. No surprise there. Valuable analysis for the week, of course. So I will take a look at gold and have a look to see if there's any fresh opportunities off the back of the big move we had at the back end of last week. IQ Baby, hello to you. Good to see you, Daz. Ape, GGARFX, Harris, Patrick, hello to you as well. Good to see you, Addison, as well. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hello, this are for live stream. I'm not sure what you mean there. Hope I can win something today. Hopefully you can as well. Good luck to those who are in the draw. Should we wait for a retracement to buy any dollar pair, or should we now be following the price action? It's a very good question. We will be taking a look at the dollar. Probably my views are contrary to what most people would think. I know a lot of people are down on the dollar right now, but I'm still seeing signs of the dollar turning over, and I'll explain why in just a second. Good to see. Who else we got? Loads of people coming through. I'm trying to get through them more, I promise. Grace, hello to you. Peter, Brett, 100x. He's long on the DAX. We'll take a look at the DAX as well. What's the gold bias today? We'll take a look at gold, no problem. Health Hatch, hello to you. Good to see you, Nikhil. Updates about mentorship. update is last week wasn't really a week I could record because I wasn't very well. So I still have 4 modules recorded, with 3 to record. So I'm a little bit tight on the deadline for the end of this month, to be honest. But I believe that the website and where the mentorship is going to be launched in probably the next 4 weeks, because we've got to get the course edited as well. So that's something that I've been sorting out in the background. There's a lot of moving pieces in the background that we're just sorting out at the moment. So the update really is still very much the same. It's coming. It's coming very soon. It's been a long time in the works. I can also tell you as well, we've now actually got the 3 strategies ready and the EAs to go alongside those strategies. Pretty much got all them ready now. So that's probably going to be done before the course. So good news is when we do launch the actual course and mentorship scheme, we are going to have the bots to go alongside it for the premium members and stuff like that. So anything else in terms of updates on that, I'll make sure I let you know on the Discord, but it's coming really, really soon, and I appreciate your patience on that. Lots of people looking at gold, I imagine. Yeah, I can see the chat. Lots of people checking on gold. Destiny, hello to you as well. Products review, daily with Shan. Zenix, hello to you as well. Waleed, yeah, I'll take a look at gold, no problem. Selling, well, what's people's bias on gold? Buy or sell? Bullish or bearish on gold now? Interested to see how people are feeling about gold after Friday. Let me know if you're looking for any buying opportunities or any selling opportunities, and I'll take a look at the price action. Right, okay. Before we do that, it is important. I know some people aren't into their fundamentals as such, but I'm going to break it down for you in a really simple way, and it will give you a lot of ammunition when it comes to understanding what's really driving the markets at the moment. And that is obviously what Powell said at the Jackson Hole. So last week we pretty much got it bang on. When I came on the stream last week on Monday, people were looking at the FOMC meeting minutes on the Wednesday, and I said to you not to worry about that because it's just notes from previous meetings. What was going to be really important for that week was the Jackson Hole across Thursday and Friday, particularly on Friday when Powell actually spoke to the public, and that proved to be the case because you saw some of the biggest moves that we've seen this year, especially off the back of a news event. It always happens with Jackson Hole because Jackson Hole is seen as like that annual event where the Fed will make like a big decision or a big change in their interest rate policy. And that was pretty much what we saw from Powell. My overall summary of it, before I talk to you about the key points, was pretty much what I expected. He was fairly dovish. It was definitely a shift from what we'd heard in previous central bank meetings, where he was very, very reluctant to cut interest rates. Obviously, now he's come out and pretty much hinted at the change in strategy or the change in policy from the Fed going forward, and that is that we're pretty much now entering a cutting cycle. Whether you want to like sugarcoat it in any way, that's what it is. We're now going into a period of time where the Federal Reserve are going to start to cut interest rates. Inflation has fallen. The thing that surprised me more than anything about Powell's speech was his nod to his concerns really about the economy, particularly from the tariff situation. So instead of treating tariffs as like inflationary and being hawkish in that sense, he almost said that there's a lot of uncertainty and concern around what the impact will be on the US economy off the back of the tariffs and off the back of the interest rates obviously being really, really high. So it was dovish in that sense, but there was definitely some concern from Powell regarding the economic outlook going forward. And it almost seemed, although obviously the markets treated it as dovish in the true sense, stock markets went crazy. The reason I think the dollar fell so much as well was because of that concern about the economy going forward. Just reading some of the chat here. Yes, I will take a look at gold and Bitcoin as well. Will I analyse key levels for euro dollar? Yes, I will. I've got a trade still open on the pound US dollar. It's UK bank holiday today, but market shouldn't be too affected on that. The Fed cut. Yeah, this is the point I want to lead to. Smarty, is basically that the Fed cuts are pretty much priced in now, and I still stand by my point of that we've seen. I wouldn't say max dovishness priced in to the markets because there is still that lingering debate about whether we're going to see a 50 basis point interest rate cut from the Fed. I personally don't believe we're going to see that. I think they're going to cut rates slowly and steadily, the same way they hiked rates fairly slowly and steadily. I think that's going to be the plan of action going forward. So I've heard some things about 50 basis point rate cuts, but I don't really think that's going to be something that comes through. So just quickly, the 5 key takeaways that we had from that Fed speech on Friday was basically, obviously, what I've just said, the hints at a rate cut. If you look at the Fed Watch tool, didn't really move too much. We were pretty much already priced in a rate cut for September. That remains the same. We're up at 90% chance for an interest rate cut in the next meeting, and I believe we will see an interest rate cut. This one was the bit where I said about the concern, a little bit of concern about the jobs market and the economy. The July employment rate was released early this month, and that showed the payroll job growth slowed to an average pace of only 35,000 per month over the past 3 months, and that's down from 168,000 during 2024. So definitely a nod to the weakening labour market, but then came back and said it does not appear that slowdown has opened up any large margin of slack in the labour market. So he sort of counteracted himself there. This was the big one, I think. The fact that he said that tariff and immigration policies are posing a new challenge to the US economy. Trump won't like him saying that, but that's what he said. Inflation is still rising slowly and the effects are visible now. Slightly more hawkish comment there. And the Fed are going to stick to their 2% inflation target. That's just a debate that's going on with economists at the moment. They're saying that the new target for inflation is going to be 3% rather than 2%, and Powell squashed that. Okay, cool. Just reading some of the comments here. Bitcoin's going south. Why? Let me have a look. I'll take a look at that for you. Nikhil, in the mentorship, what we learn most about how play internal, like in small time frames on heights. So I'm telling you, in the mentorship, right, it's a completely balanced thing. So in the mentorship, I'm going to be teaching, obviously, the way that I personally trade, which is like 4-hour time frames, daily time frames. I wouldn't say they're like swing positions, but they're more like position trades, maybe for a couple of weeks, I say. But also 2 of the strategies that are in the strategies module with the EAs attached to it, they are actually scalping strategies, to be fair. So they're higher risk, higher reward. So I've got a bit of both, really. And I'm going to leave that down to people's personal preference. I don't like to tell people to do a certain thing. You should scalp or you should be a swing trader. It does depend on your own risk appetite. How do I win the giveaway? Literally, comment win. That's it. As soon as you comment win, you see it gets put into a live draw. And then at the end of the stream, I'll click this button here, choose a winner, and the username of that winner will come up. And then I need you to provide me with your Discord or your X handle, your username, and then I'll message you on how you can claim that prize. Really, really simple. Good stuff. Happy that people are excited by it. So that was the Fed. That was it. Fairly dovish, right? Overall, fairly dovish. Okay, granted. What then happened to the dollar as a result of that was we saw quite a daunting daily candle, bearish candle from the dovish reaction. Now, the thing that I think about this was that was a dovish speech from Powell. Interest rate cuts, starting a new cycle in Fed policy, interest rate cuts, blah, 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 blah. And we saw a reaction, initial dovish reaction in the markets, which is dollar down, stocks up, gold up. That's what we saw. But I said last week, I think that will be the initial reaction, but I'm not still convinced that we're going to continue in that vein, because you've got to remember that markets price things in. And this had already been priced in previously. Yeah? If Powell come out and said, look, we're going to start cutting rates now, and we would then see more cuts priced in towards the end of the year and early next year, then we can see more dollar downside. But I think at the moment, I think the markets have priced it fairly well. We've seen so much downside in the dollar. I think the risk to reward here is better to buy the dollar than sell. And the daily candle that we saw on Friday, yes, it did wipe out 3 or 4 days of gains, but it didn't really cause any break of structure or break of pretty much this demand zone. I said how important this level is, and I've done now 5 streams, and I've Every single time I come on the stream, I say, look out for this level, look out for this level, this daily demand zone, this daily order block. You can see how it was respected on Friday. Then what happened? The buyers came and stepped back in. So I believe that I'm still personally going to be looking for some dollar longs. I think we've pretty much priced in as much as we can right now in terms of dovishness from the DXY. What would be the situation that I change? Well, technically, if we break below 97, I'll come on the stream and say I was wrong, and then we'll be looking for dollar sales. And fundamentally, the thing that would change this big time was if we start to see a real slowdown in the jobs market. And the way that you know if that's the case is by going to the NFP report, which is on the first Friday of the month. So our next one, which is next Friday, is our next NFP. If that shows another weak number, then we're probably going to see more dollar downside. But the evidence isn't there yet, so that's why I'm happy to do that. I am seeing the requests coming through. I am doing my best to keep on top of the comment section. AED, Euro Swiss, Sunny Patel, Euro Swiss franc, and AED USD. Yeah, shouldn't be a problem. I can look at that as well. So that's my view on the US dollar. Now, the way that you would then obviously trade that as such is by going onto the dollar-related pairs and trying to catch on some of the opportunities that we see. And the main opportunity, the one that I placed live on stream last week, literally placed it live in front of you, which I've still got here, as you can see, is the GBPUSD sell. Now, again, obviously Friday was a big bullish engulfing candle on the daily time frame. However, it still hasn't breached the previous high at 135.95. So all the time that GBPUSD trades within this supply zone, I'm still looking for selling opportunities. Now, this is why I want to just give you a lesson in risk management and managing your trades when it's live, which is very, very important. As people would know, if you've watched my streams, some people have watched my streams for a few years, some people maybe you're new to this, but if you've watched my streams for a few years, you would know that my strategy when it comes to how I manage trades when they're live is very, very simple. When I hit a 1-to-1 risk reward, I close half the position. No questions asked. I don't care what it's doing. I close half the position. So obviously, you can see this trade that was currently still in profit. But when we reached here, which was, by the way, on Monday, the day I placed the trade, when we reached this area here, I closed half the position off. Okay, then the market continued down, happy days, and we reached 2-to-1. When I reached 2-to-1, I moved the stop loss, which was originally at 1.35750, and I personally moved that to where I entered the market, which is 1.35485. That means my trade is completely risk-free. So I made 1% profit on the original, because I placed 2% risk on the trade, 1% profit when I reached 1-to-1, sorry, 2% profit when I reached 1-to-1, closed half of it, that's 1% profit, reached 2-to-1, stop loss to entry. Now I did get pretty close, don't get me wrong, but for me, this is a sell which is still active. So I won't be placing any more dollar Forex trades in front of you today, because I will still be managing the pound dollar trade that I've currently got open. So for people who want fresh analysis on that, well, for me, I'm still thinking that we could see some downside in GBPUSD because of everything I've just said. And that's going to be my bias for this week, and I'm going to see how that gets on. If this gets smashed and we go higher and we take me out entry, yeah, happy days. I made 1%. And that's where, I've said this before, you can make money trading even when you're wrong. So I would have got it wrong. Like the dollar actually would have been weakening significantly if I get stopped out, but I still made 1% profit. So you don't always have to be right to make money is the main thing here. I believe we're going to continue to see some more downside. Do you know what I really love about the current price action on GBPUSD in particular? Would you notice how we came up and we could have scaled into this trade if we wanted to? We came up, broke, obviously made this move down, came back up on Friday very rapidly, I will admit, but respected this bearish order block or this supply zone, which was previously left. We had liquidity there as well. I mean, it's just textbook. Liquidity, taking liquidity into the supply zone, and now we move lower. So I believe that, I don't think this would be a bad trade. Like from where we are right now, going short with a stop loss above here, even though it's equal highs, it's not my favourite trade, and try and fill the imbalance that was created from Friday's Powell speech. I'm personally not going to do that because I'm already in the trade, and I know some people might be in the trade as well. But that would be what I look for if I was trading it right this second. Euro dollar, slightly stronger. However, who remembers this? This was a trade that I had planned. If I wasn't already in GBPUSD, I would be in this trade. We got a supply zone at the top on the 4-hour time frame. We also, if you zoom in, if I zoom right in on this, make this bit smaller, okay, you can see we've got a fair value gap from Friday the 25th of July to Monday the 28th of July. That created a gap. If you actually look what happened, there's our gap, FEG. Okay, move this across. You can see where my entry was. Boom. Perfect reaction from the entry. Zero drawdown. That's why you always stick to your guns. Always stick to your. If you've got a view on something, that's what trading's all about. You obviously there's going to be risk attached to it. You might be wrong. So what? So that for me, this even for euro dollars perspective, still for me, I like the downside. It's trading still below these trend lines as well. We've had a nice breakout. Yes, okay, we've had a bullish reaction on Friday, but for me, I'm still looking to fade this, and that was a really perfect entry. So maybe we're going to come up and get a re-entry at some point, but anywhere from where we are now, for me, looks like a fairly decent opportunity to go short, and the risk reward is great, by the way. I was saying to someone the other day, I understand the dollar bear case, and probably I've come on and I've sound really super bullish on the dollar. But for me as well, what's something you've got to bear in mind is what's the risk reward of buying euro dollar and buying the pound dollar now? Where would you put your stop loss, and what would you target? You put your stop loss, you'd have to put it down here, so you've got a massively wide stop loss of 100 plus pips. To make what? To hope that we break out to new highs. That's anticipation. There's nothing there to target really. So that's why as well I like the idea of going short, because yes, okay, maybe it's slightly riskier, but the risk reward is great. Yes, Smarty, I'm still on the downside bias. Filling the imbalance is necessary. Yes, I agree. Okay, right. Now I know people are wanting to look at gold, and I can see a lot of comments in there, so I do apologise that I've waffled on about the dollar a lot, but that is probably my speciality when it comes to trading, is the US dollar. So gold, obviously, if you go by what I said, look at that, by the way. That is absolutely beautiful reaction from the 50% of the imbalance here. Anyway, I'm going to delete this. Because that's already happened. I'm going to try to see if I can find or make sense of a gold market which this is I've said this for a few weeks, and I know that people were very excited on Friday when we saw gold up like 1%. However, when you zoom out, it doesn't look that big, does it? It still trades within the range. I actually think that with my view on the dollar, I would be leaning more towards gold downside than gold upside because of that stronger dollar effect, which can drag gold prices down. However, if I was going to play dollar downside, if I was going to play dollar upside, I probably wouldn't sell gold. I'd rather buy dollar Forex pairs, So it makes gold a no trade for me. Like it's still in a no trade area. It's still consolidating within this range. But if we break that down onto the lower time frames in terms of like momentum for today, We took out liquidity there. I'm just not confident in any direction for gold because we're stuck in the middle of the range on the higher time frames. It's a no trade for me. And I know people desperately want to try and trade gold, but just listen to my advice when I say maybe look at another market. This isn't the best market to trade right now, in my opinion. It hasn't been for quite a few months, to be honest with you. We've got the bullish momentum from Friday, so I can see a situation where gold makes a move up to that 3420 area, which is one of my areas of resistance. But also there's a chance that gold falls from where we are right now. I mean, if you look what happened from Friday to Monday, okay, Friday to Monday, FEG, we already reacted from it and broke lower. So would I want to sell it again on the second retest? Maybe not. What you could do for the gold bulls, this could be a good one, is wait for a break above the FEG, retest it, and try and target my resistance area at 3420. Where's 3420? There it is, roughly there. I know that's a big resistance area. And that would be 5.5, 6 to 1 trade risk reward. So if I'm going to play the dollar downside, if the dollar is going to fall, I think gold upside the good market to play, but for dollar strength, I wouldn't be looking to trade gold personally. But that could be a good trade because we have already reacted from the fair value gap created from Friday to Monday. So you could look to wait for the break back above it, retest, and then go higher. That could be something you play on gold. And other than that, for me right now, it remains pretty much a no trade market until I see a move up to 3420 or I see more downside, because my view on the dollar isn't as bearish as other people. So that puts a doubt in my mind when it comes to gold upside. I wonder if anyone agrees with that. My analysis is perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very, very kind. Pen Judy, thank you for the kind comments as well. Thank you, chat. Make sure you keep liking, keep subscribing, share this stream out of your friends. If we get 500 views on the streams, I can probably up the giveaways. So share it out with your friends. Repost my tweets on it on X. Pen Judy, NFP. What key factors are you watching right now for gold, and do you expect this uptrend to continue or reverse? And well, gold reacts to most news events, but obviously the two main factors I'm looking for is obviously the dollar, which I've spoken about, and also any risks to the global economy. So there is chance that, say, NFP next week comes in quite weak. We could see definitely some more safe haven buying in gold. So that would be something I look out for as well. So when it comes to this week in the markets, I have taken a look at the actual events coming up. And to be honest, it's not really a great deal. It's the final week of the month, this final week of August. And when you look at red list events, look, we've got core PCE on Friday, unemployment claims, GDP on Thursday is probably the event of the week, I would say. But overall, it's a pretty light week in terms of news events. Next week will be much bigger because we've got NFP. I might even do a special NFP stream. Would anyone be interested in me going live for like 5 hours and covering the whole event live and just like trading it throughout the day? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if that's something you'd like to see, and I'll see if I can get that sorted out. Maybe we do a big giveaway or a big NFP live event giveaway thing. Don't know. Maybe it's just an idea. Yes, correct, IQ Baber. Yeah, and Awokoya Cam said that gold traders are getting on hot seats today. Yeah, you just got to be really careful. It's a Monday. Just don't have FOMO with these markets. Yeah, just in any markets, but particularly in gold. I know there's probably a lot of people who are desperately trying to buy gold now. Retail traders trying to desperately buy gold, but you're too late to the move. Unless you bought it on Friday, there's not much risk reward in buying unless you can see that FEG trade that I had. This one. But other than that, let the markets play out. Let the price action settle a little bit. Okay. In about 10 minutes' time, we'll be doing the winners of today's giveaway. So Keep commenting win if you haven't commented win already. Let's just have a look at some of the other requests. What is that? Emotions checked. Well done. Good stuff. Nice one, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay, maybe there's some interest there in a big live stream, like a 5-hour one. What other markets? Someone was asking me about Bitcoin taking a bit of a hit. Look at that. Yeah, that is quite a big reversal actually. This is like what I want to see in the US dollar. Like, do you know the US dollar had that big wave of downside? I think we could get up and reverse it. That's what I'm looking for. You see, that's happened with Bitcoin actually, which is good because that means Bitcoin is now approaching my area of support. Still very much bullish on Bitcoin, by the way, and still very much bullish on risk assets, like the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones. I still remain bullish on those. Doesn't take a genius to work that out, I know, but I'm not looking for any reversals. It was an interesting reaction from the stock market and Bitcoin and like the riskier assets, because Powell was concerned about the impact of tariffs and immigration policies and all that sort of stuff on the economy. But the fact is we haven't seen the data yet which suggests like recession or anything like that. So currently, as of right now, when you think about it, we're in a situation where the Fed's cutting and the stock market, we're in a situation where the Fed's cutting and at the same time the economy isn't crashing, and that's like a recipe for stock market upside and risk asset upside. So yeah, I mean that is an interesting reversal on Bitcoin, to be fair. However, I'm interested to see if we can see this as a nice support area, and this remains like it was last week. This remains a key support area for me on the daily time frame, and I think this could be, well, it is a good risk reward trade there on Bitcoin. Maybe this will be the first. Just a fun fact: I've never placed a day trade on cryptocurrency ever. It's never interested me too much, but I know people obviously do, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this could be a good one, so I'll keep an eye on that and see if we get a good reaction, or maybe I'll just place a trade on it. Maybe we shall see. Just to let you know as well, the risk manager tool that we've built, well, I won't take the credit for it. My coder's built for us, which is going to be in the mentorship and course coming soon. We have made changes to it. I didn't have time to change it before I came on the stream. We got some feedback from the chat last week, and we've made some changes to the risk manager tool to make it easier, so you can like click and drag your stop loss, which I know is probably a much easier thing to do. So I'll probably I'll get it set up and I'll show you all tomorrow what that looks like on the next stream. Any other requests? We did have some more requests, didn't we? What about USD, Euro, Swiss, and AED USD? Sorry, I didn't forget about that. Well, I did, but Euro Swissy. Oh wow! Really, you want to trade that? Surely we don't want to trade this, guys. Sunny Patel, come on. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. It hasn't moved. It hasn't moved for like 3 months. All jokes aside. Okay. That's interesting. I think we've created equal highs here. Yeah, we have. Equal highs is obviously liquidity. Trying to look for something on a lower time frame if I can. Can't really see anything. I mean, that's horrific price action, to be honest with you. It's very slow. Probably look for this. if I was trading it. This is not a market that I trade, to be honest. So if I was, I would do that. What's the risk reward on that? 5.8 to 1. There we go. There's a free trade idea on Euro Swiss franc. Full disclosure, I won't be placing that trade, but because I don't trade that market. However, not bad at all in terms of how that looks from a price action perspective. AUD/USD, God, that is a mess. Not the best dollar pair to trade, in my opinion. Still got an untested support area there, so that could be a target. I'm obviously going to look for downside here because of my view on the dollar at the moment. However, the GU and EU look miles better than this. What I would probably wait to do is see how this 4-hour candle closes. If it closes below this wick, you can see how it's moved into this imbalance in here, wicked and moved can close below. Wait for the close. Wait for the close of the 4-hour, wherever that may be, and just do a simple liquidity sweep trade and try and fill the Jackson Hole imbalance that was created from Friday. That's how I would trade it. Again, wouldn't be one that I would place personally because I think other markets look better, but that's what I'd look for. US 30. US 30. Yeah, nice one, AED. Yeah, I do like AED/USD. Where else are we? We'll be doing the giveaway very soon, people. Very soon. I promise. I forgot. Oil. Who remembers this? Before we look at US 30, I'll go on to the US stock market in a second, but we spoke in a lot of detail about oil. We were very, very patient when it came to waiting for this buy opportunity. I actually placed this on one of my props. Fair value gap. Really simple. You see that fair value gap? Literally a physical gap in the market. You see that? Look what happened. On Monday last week, we came in and tested that fair value gap, and now we're on the upside. I found oil works really good with gaps. So for me, for crude oil, for US oil, I believe, well, the reason I believe is where my take profit is, but I think we could see a move up to 68 because I can see some imbalance we can target up here. And we've had a nice reaction from the 4-hour FVG as well. In terms of like scaling into the trade, I'm just trying to see if there's anything that screams out to me in terms of scaling in. We've got support area there. We've got no support there, and we have support here as well. So they would be my two scale in areas. That and that would be my scaling areas for oil. So I believe we could see some more upside there. Vozen says that he wasn't comfortable with the US oil buys. That's fair enough. That's all right. That's I understand. Another no drawdown trade. Yeah, I mean this is the analysis has been really, really good over the past few weeks, to be fair. We've got some really nice ones. We've had some losers as well. I lost on Euro Pound. I placed that a couple of weeks ago. There's always losers. But some of the calls that we've made on oil, this one, and particularly the dollar with the pound dollar trade, that was zero drawdown as well. So yeah, really happy with that. Stock market's an interesting one, isn't it? Didn't really get the stock market too right, because I thought we were going to see a reaction from these areas, and you can see apart from the US 30, we blasted straight through them really. Didn't actually place any of those trades because my motto is, Jack, do you know, for example, if you've got like a key area that you want to trade and the market's similar, so like let's say for example we had a key area on, we did US 30, US 100, S&P 500. I always wait for the last one to test it. Okay, that's just a rule that I found. If you go for the first test, sometimes it breaches, like we saw on the US 100 and 500 there. But the US 30, obviously, we never got anywhere near it. But that would have been my area of support. That's blasted quite significantly higher, isn't it? Way above all-time highs now. With the stock market, it's always a bit of a difficult one, if I'm being honest, because it's like you have to just I can't really explain it, but you almost don't really need to analyze it as such. You just need to wait for pullbacks, and more often than not, in the long term, waiting for pullbacks and buying them. It sounds so simple, and it is harder to do sometimes because you missed the move or whatever. But look for like a 2 or 3% pullback and try and get in. Obviously, there's going to be some points in time where it falls 10% and you lose. But more often than not, obviously, the stock market generally goes higher. Or it does go higher over time. And so you just got to wait for another pause or another pullback, something that looks a little bit like that. And you can always tell with the size of the candles when you're going to get like which is what I'd call a low volume pullback. It will look something like that. Like it will just be messy for a bit. And you just have to be on the ball and try and catch in on the momentum for the next wave higher. So, but my general biasness for the stock market remains bullish. I haven't seen any evidence to suggest otherwise. That will change if NFP next week becomes in really low. But overall, I'm not seeing an economy which is crashing. I'm not really seeing too many like cracks in the economy either. And even Powell said that, although he's worried about the outlook, but he always says that there's uncertainties. Well, yeah, we know that. There isn't any hard evidence to suggest that we're seeing an actual wave of downside coming. Bearish for dollar is bullish for stock market, yeah, and over that. So yeah. Okay. All right then, people. We should do the giveaway. Should we do the giveaway? Is everyone had enough of the analysis? I will go through any more requests if anyone has any, like, desperately that they want me to do, or any questions. If there's any questions that anyone has, maybe I can answer them. If I don't hear anything, if I don't see any questions come through, then we'll get cracking with the giveaway, which is a big one. 6 winners. 6 winners. My advice on fear of taking trades would be to lower your risk. Often when people are fearful of trading, of placing a trade, it's because they're fearful of losing the money that they're risking. If you're fearful of losing the money you're risking, that's probably because you're risking too much. It's making you feel uncomfortable. So I would lower your risk amount by half and see if you find it easier to execute then. All right? 95% of the time people said I'm scared of placing a trade. When I say how much are you placing, and they say I'm risking 3.5%, they don't even know they're risking 3%. They tell me, oh, I don't know, I just don't want to lose that money. I said, well, look how much you're risking on your account. That's why. It comes from fear of losing the money that you've risked. NFP will go through next week. EuroCAD. EuroCAD looks good for more upside down. To be fair, mate, it looks like it's on that grind higher. Looks very good for that grind higher, actually. Any trade ideas on it though? I don't like trading these markets. Oh, sorry, I'm not even showing it. My bad. I don't like trading these sorts of markets because they're on a grind, I find it quite slow. However, I do like more upside here on EuroCAD. That's a nice breakout. That's definitely a bullish breakout above this high as well. Retested it here. I'll probably look for something that looks a bit like that. Okay, but it doesn't really fill me with much confidence because we've actually got a bit more imbalance in here as well. We could even come down to 1.61 to be fair, mate. But overall, the general direction is more upside from what I see. The 100k giveaway will announce. I think we'll be announcing that this week. So keep an eye on the Discord channel. You are like a boss. I hope you meant boss, not booze. GJ. Elijah wants to look at GJ quickly. It is a market that I do look at, to be fair. I like downside on GJ. The reason I like downside on GJ is because we took out these highs and then made a move lower. If I do that, that's quite a big reaction from the 61, from the 38.2 though. Caught in two minds on this one actually, on GJ. I actually think the more I look at it, the more we've had the liquidity sweep already. We've had a reaction. It looks like it's one of those typical low volume retracements where we're going to maybe even see a blast out higher, maybe above 200 on GJ. From what I see, to be honest, we took the liquidity there as well. Yeah, actually, I changed my mind. I'd probably be looking for buys on GJ. Don't know where though. No area that I like the look of right now, Elijah, to be honest. But I think we could be seeing a GJ back above 200. Boss typing mistake. USD CAD. Well, you know what I'm going to look for on USD CAD, surely. USD CAD. Ooh. Wow. Oh, that was close. That was close. USD CAD potentially. Let's have a look. This is a really high risk reward trade, guys. Really high. We've got a little bit of demand zone in there. We've got some liquidity there as well. Long position on that demand zone, underneath that liquidity, sitting right there. Boom. Target the NFP imbalance. 11 to 1 risk reward. Pretty decent, that is. That would be how I trade USD CAD. Simple. What's the backtesting strategy that you found it useful? If I'm being honest, the way that I trade is what I'm showing you now is what I'm showing you there is like my manual way of trading. So there's some opinion, there's some subjectivity in it. It's how I feel a little bit. It's not mechanical where there's set rules that I'd have to follow. I have a general checklist and I have my opinions on the fundamentals and stuff, and then I place the trade. That's the one way I trade. And I've never back tested that way because the situation always changes. So I'm more of a forward tester in that sense. When it comes to mechanical strategies, which are in the academy, they've been back tested over 500 to 1,000 trades worth of back tested data. Some have got, one of the strategies has got 5 years of back tested data, the other one's got 3 years, and one of the scalping ones has got a couple of years. So I'd back test those because they're mechanical, they can be coded, and they follow a set rule. Ignore fundamentals. So I've got both of them coming in the academy, so I do a bit of both. How do I deal with deep drawdown over 6%? I think that comes with experience. I'm telling you, this is a secret right now. I have back tested so many strategies over the past year with my coder. It is impossible. It's impossible to not go through a period of drawdown. 10%, 20%. Some of the strategies we found, which is normal as well, guys, had 30, 40% drawdown at some point. You have to sort of think about trading in a different way. You have to be, when you come into that, if you're prepared for that time when you're going to be in drawdown, you know it's just a period of drawdown. If you've got back-tested results that show that it's made money in the past, then it's much easier to deal with, because it's not then you think it's something that you've done wrong. You just know it's a period of drawdown. So whatever strategy you're using, if it's a mechanical based one, I'll try and back test it, and then you'll see that being in 6% drawdown is completely normal. Also, you can also lower your risk if you feel uncomfortable. Okay, good stuff. Right, we're gonna do the giveaway now. Been on for nearly an hour, which is great. We're gonna do the giveaway for the winners for today's prizes. So, just to recap, everyone's in a random draw. Subscribers to the channel get double chance. I'll be giving away 3 lots, 1, 2, 3, of $10,000 Atmos two-phase funded challenge accounts. That was a very long way of saying it. And I'll also be giving away 3 lots of 50% deposit bonuses into Taurex. If your name pops up and you've won the prize, all you have to do is either on the stream now or later on, if you're watching back on catch up to see if you've won, I need you to comment wherever you can your X handle if you've come from X, or your Discord handle if you've come from Discord. Then I contact you, and then I'll tell you how you claim your prize. It's really that simple, okay? If someone doesn't claim the prize, then it gets rolled over to the next stream, which is tomorrow, where we're going to be doing this whole giveaway again. So good luck to those who are in it. And the first way we'll do the Atmos challenges first. So we'll do all 3 of those, and then we'll do the 50% deposit bonuses. So the first winner of the Atmos one is Lapu X Lapu. Some username. Love it. You've won the first giveaway. If you please comment in your Discord or X handle, I'll send you a message on how you can claim that. So that's a good start to the week for you. The second winner of that is TTL Kin. TTL Kin, if you are around, please drop your username on the chat and I'll message you. You won the second Atmos, and the third, God, a lot of giveaways. There's a lot of winners. Is Aman Nina. Congratulations to all you 3. I'm just going to type in the chat now. Congrats. Atmos winners. Please put your usernames in the chat for me. As I said, if you don't claim it, then it gets rolled over. Amazing stuff. Good start to the week for those 3 people. Very well done. We have got 3 more prizes still. The 50% deposit bonuses into Taurex. They're going to go to Jay and the Journey. They're also going to go to Jay Coandrea. Jay Coandrea is the second winner of that. And the third winner, Sushi Man. They're the 3 winners. Nice one, guys. Really, really good stuff. I appreciate the comments as well. If you didn't win, don't worry too much, because tomorrow we're going to be doing it all over again. I don't normally stream on back-to-back days, but we'll come on tomorrow anyway, and maybe we'll do a bit of a Q&A. I don't know if too much is going to change from the analysis from yesterday to today, but maybe we'll look at some more scalping opportunities, or we'll talk about something different. But congratulations to those 6 winners. As I said, if you can, drop me your username and I'll get in touch on how you can win those prizes. Okay, fantastic stuff, everybody. I will end the stream there. I haven't had anyone claim it just yet, but I'll keep an eye on the chat anyway. Good luck to those come back on tomorrow. Share this with your friends. As I said, we're nearly up to 500 on the stream now. If we can get up to 500, then I can maybe look to up those giveaways. So very, very well done to those who have won. It is a Monday. I can see, by the way, that the dollar is starting to react in a bullish manner, which is great for a Monday, but it is early days. Plenty more opportunities coming out this week. If you are trading today, just make sure you be a little bit careful. We've got UK bank holiday, so don't be too concerned or worried if you're not into a trade just yet. Just be patient and those moves will come. Okay, good stuff. Thank you very much for those who tuned in. I hope everyone trades well, trades safe, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the next one. Thank you.